Aloha everyone. I often find myself on the beach at a race trying to find something to eat during the day. Sometimes I'm searching for something to make for the potluck luau's that we often have during our races. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make my mom's recipe for stuffed rice balls. My mom's 88 years old, her name is Reiko, and this is her recipe for stuffed rice balls. The ingredients start with 2 cups of rice, which is sufficient to make 8 rice balls about this size. The other ingredients are seaweed, salt, and something to stuff inside the middle of the rice balls. One of our favorite things to stuff rice balls with is a Japanese pickled plum called umeboshi. Umeboshi is a pickled plum that is pungent and sweet and has a unique flavor. We find that umeboshi has such a strong flavor that we only place half of one in each rice ball. There are all kinds of things you can stuff rice balls with, including other pickled vegetables and fruits, cooked fish, sashimi, octopus, crab, cooked beef, pork, cooked egg, spam. If you can think of it and eat it, you could stuff it with it. Choose your favorite seaweed. My mom happened to buy this at the Japanese store, but there are all kinds that you can buy on Amazon. You want to get the ones that are in sheets of sufficient size to cover your rice ball. These are twice as large as we need, so we're going to be cutting them in half. We're going to be taking 4 sheets and cutting them in half to make 8 rice balls. We fill a bowl full of cold water in order to use it to wet our hands before making the rice ball, because it keeps the rice from sticking to our hands. And we also use it to wash the salt off between rice balls. We have prepared a staging area for making rice balls. We have poured a freshly made batch of hot rice into a 9x5 pan and spread it out to allow it to cool down sufficiently for us to handle it. This takes about 5 minutes. The assembly line is set up so that the rice is at the end with a small bowl of water to wet your hands and to rinse them off next to it, and a small plate with salt on the bottom of it next to the bowl of water. You first divide the rice into 8 equal parts. Oh, we forgot the umeboshi. You want to take 4 umeboshi and take the pits out of it and split it in half and put it in a small bowl that's next to the rice. To start, you wet your hands so the rice doesn't stick to it. So you grab a handful of rice, put some pickled plum in the middle, fold it into a ball. So you want to sort of mash it together firmly with both hands.
Some people like to make triangle, but I don't know how to do it very good. So very lightly salt.
Lightly salt it just by placing your hand flat on the salt. And then put aside on a plate. So the rice doesn't stick together when it's too wet, so try not to wet it too much while you're making it. So in order not to make the rice so wet, when you rinse your hands off in between, you want to shake your hands, shake all the moisture off your hands as best you can before you start the next one.
Right. Depends on the purpose.
You can make it in the size that you want. Sometimes we make half the size of these depending upon the occasion.
This is the kind of right size for my hand, that's why.
On the final, you wash your hands and then you dry them real good. We're getting ready to handle the seaweed now.
Like this.
So you wrap the seaweed around the ball. Just one quick wrap over, then set them.
And wait, let it sit like this for about 10 minutes so the seaweed get damp, and then you can make round.
So let the seaweed set on the rice ball for about 10 minutes so it'll get damp. And then you can form it into a ball around the rice. This is what they look like after you've waited for 10 minutes. You see how the seaweed dampens? Now you just form the seaweed around it by pressing it.
Some people like to cut seaweed exactly the sides that it requires and cover the whole thing. I don't do that. Too much trouble.
So it's okay if there are gaps where there's just no seaweed covering rice. But you can cut your seaweed so you make sure that it does cover it.
That's it.
When you get to this stage of making the rice ball, it's important to start with freshly made rice because it's still warm and it's giving off that moisture. It's evaporating water still, so that when you apply the seaweed to the rice, you allow 10 minutes to go by so that the moisture can invade the seaweed and make it more pliable in order to wrap around the rice ball. So this is my batch of umeboshi. There are 8 rice balls that I've packaged up in a Ziploc bag on a plate. And umeboshi has a tendency to preserve rice longer than normal if you're just allowed to set out. So it's good until at least tomorrow night. And this is the morning time that I'm preparing this. But after that, just put them in the refrigerator. And then when you take them out, microwave them for a minute or less. You'll have to test that based upon the size. Enjoy, everyone.